If you still get debit cards, credit cards, or checks in the mail, you need to know about this right now.
This menace just punched the mailman, scattering his letters across the street in a random act of violence.
Like they're opening the bank account, they're opening the credit card.
Postal workers across America are under attack.
Hey Siri, 911! Hey Siri, 911!
And it's not just when you get mail. They are even waiting for you to send your mail off.
So why have postal worker robberies jumped more than 500% since 2019? They're often after...
It's happened twice to Decatur pediatrician Carol Herman in the past 6 months.
Someone
They got my check.
stole her money.
In this video, I'm going to break down why you don't always get your debit cards, your credit cards, or checks in the mail as fast as you used to. Your mail is being stolen. Let me show you how it's happening right now. Also, if you want us to keep you updated on scams like this, subscribe to the channel today.
This menace just punched the mailman, scattering his letters across the street in a random act of violence. Unfortunately, it's not an isolated incident. Postal workers across America are under attack.
Hey Siri, 911! Hey Siri, 911!
Watch as masked men shove this New Jersey mailman to the ground as he cries for Siri to call 911.
Hey Siri, 911!
And when an armed robber points a gun at this postal worker in Ohio,
Oh my God, here.
she pleads for her life.
I'm sorry, just go, no, please, no.
So why have postal worker robberies jumped more than 500% since 2019? They're often after a master key, similar to this. Every postal worker carries one to open mailboxes on their route. But in the wrong hands, authorities say it's like criminals having a key to the city. Watch as this couple uses one to casually unlock the mailboxes at an apartment building in LA. Within moments, they've stuffed 2 bags to the brim.
Once a criminal gets that key, it's an absolute free-for-all. Apartment panels, P.O. boxes, something has to be done.
Postal Police Association President Frank Albergo says mail theft has skyrocketed since the force was told in 2020 they only have authority to make arrests on post office property, not on public streets.
Now, I know what some of you all are thinking. Well, I'll just go into the post office as it's safer that way. Well, they won't steal the mail directly from you if you do it that way, at least not in front of you, but they will take it while being at work. Watch this.
The Ballantyne Post Office is a hotbed for theft.
Yeah, we learned this location is home to more reports of stolen checks than any other post office in Charlotte.
So this is the statement from our tax accountant.
Kathy Dorff believed she did everything right
Paid May 12th.
when she paid her tax accountant earlier this year.
I thought I'll go to the post office because that's safer.
Dorff says she walked inside the Ballantyne Post Office and mailed a more than $3,000 check. But then, almost 2 months later,
I thought, oh, no, I paid it.
her CPA reached back out, saying she still owed the money. She went online and looked at a copy of the deposited check.
I kind of like almost caught my breath. It was my signature, but none of the other information was in my handwriting.
That's when it clicked.
I realized, oh, I know what this is because I read about this.
Someone
They got my check and they washed it.
stole her money.
Occasionally, these checks are stolen from mailboxes.
Check washing itself isn't new.
You get a chemical, you put it in a little wash bin, you can put a check in there, and the handwritten ink will come off.
The U.S. Postal Service has long warned about criminals stealing checks in the mail, altering them, and depositing the money. But in recent history, the problem's grown at the Ballantyne Post Office. WCNC Charlotte discovered more than 24 Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department reports for check theft here in less than a year. More than any other post office in Charlotte. Victims include a 91-year-old, businesses, and even a church. All after a federal investigation busted a former processing clerk at the Ballantyne Post Office for stealing more than 200 business checks worth $1.9 million and selling them.
Keys used to steal mail and identities.
This is becoming like a nightmare.
It happened to this mother from Queens. Her new real ID was stolen from her mailbox.
Day after day, they're doing something like they're opening the bank account, they're opening a credit card.
And it's not just debit cards or credit cards. They want anything that's related to money. Check this out.
Philadelphia mail handler is accused of stealing more than 100 United States Treasury checks while on the job. Authorities identified the clerk as Sahir Irby. Investigators say he obtained the checks during a shift at the Philadelphia Processing and Distribution Center on Lindbergh Boulevard in Southwest Philadelphia last month. Irby allegedly sold the checks to a man at Rivers Casino who was wanted for robbing another casino in March.
I've been to this particular location multiple times for problems. Business owners tell us they know not to use these blue boxes outside, but they say even when they walk inside to drop off mail, checks are being stolen.
These are copies of checks that I wrote out that were hijacked.
It's happened twice to Decatur pediatrician Carol Herman in the past 6 months. Her business checks stolen after being dropped in the mail here.
The check was changed from $100 to $5,000 and cashed the very same day that I put it inside this Decatur post office on Ponce.
Herman met restaurant owner Nareet McCrary at the bank last week because he was there for the exact same reason. His checks also stolen after being dropped off at the same post office.
And on the picture, the check, it's not my handwriting. They leave only my signature. That's it.
Channel 2 Action News has reported on mail check fraud across Metro Atlanta extensively for 3 years now. Just on Monday, this Gwinnett County couple were victims. The Postal Service Inspector General acknowledges many of these are inside jobs.
Now, we know some of the post office employees were doing this, but I didn't expect them to be so arrogant online on how they were spending your money. You won't believe this.
On social media, former U.S. postal carrier Marianne McDermott boasted about lavish trips to Hawaii, designer shopping sprees, and the piles of cash she pulled in. But tonight, federal prosecutors in Southern California say she funded that luxurious lifestyle by stealing checks and credit cards out of the mail that she was meant to deliver. McDermott, arrested in July after a complaint to the Postal Service hotline led them to a Home Depot, where prosecutors say surveillance footage appeared to catch the postal worker using a stolen card to buy this rug. Authorities executing a search warrant at her apartment late last year, finding stacks of cash, 113 credit and debit cards, 20 checks addressed to others, and a loaded ghost gun. Her seized luxury goods appraised at $21,000. According to a criminal complaint, McDermott told prosecutors how the scam worked, saying she would steal the debit or credit cards directly from the mail. At times, buying the real cardholder's social security numbers to activate the cards. Also, sometimes obtaining fake phone numbers through an app to conceal herself when making the activation call. McDermott would then head to places like the Apple Store and use the stolen cards to make purchases. Prosecutors say she also worked with co-conspirators to cash checks in other people's names, using fake IDs or to sell the cards she didn't use herself, making about $500 each time. She even talked about targeting EDD cards, investigators saying those are prepaid debit cards used in California to distribute payments for those on unemployment, disability, and paid family leave.
Now, unfortunately, there really isn't a solution for this as it's happening at the actual post offices. Now, you can pay for something like FedEx or UPS, but that will cost more to send, okay? Until we see a solid solution, we will be sure to keep you guys informed. Until then, we'll see you guys on the next video.